Your accent and the way you sound is a function of all of the things about you, your demographics, but also your personal identity. So that means your ethnicity, your language background, what languages you speak, your age, your gender, where you're from, all of that stuff at once for any individual person. And this is something that's really challenging about sociolinguistic research. We can have a study that's focused on ethnicity or on gender, but it also has to account for all of those things. So if I say something like, in Northern California, people are more likely to say hella than in other parts of the country. We have a lot of data that shows that that's true. I don't think people want to fight with me on that. But it doesn't mean that every single person in Northern California says hella. It's also changing over time. In the last 20 years, hella expanded beyond the Bay Area in a way that it didn't before. This is really hard. We all want to see ourselves reflected in the science. And so when we watch a video about a study that someone did and they're telling you about it for 60 seconds or 90 seconds, because this is TikTok, they can't tell you about the thousands of hours they took designing that experiment, about the statistical methods that they used to account for gender variation, even if gender wasn't necessarily the main thing that they were interested in. This is why I'm always saying, please go read the 10,000 word paper. Don't just watch the TikToks. I know this is fun. This is accessible. We love science communication. More people can get to it. But if you really want to know what the literature says about gender differences, about racial differences, about regional differences, you've got to go read the work. And the people that write the work have spent thousands and thousands and thousands of hours doing the work to get this across to us. So whenever you see somebody making a claim, okay, well, the research shows XYZ on here, and it doesn't necessarily comport with your experience of reality, I'd encourage you to go and dig into the studies about that, because it's always going to have more information, if you're really curious, than what you see in a 2-minute TikTok. Science communication is really hard. And if you're me, you're doing this in between preparing the 2 classes that you have to teach tomorrow and writing the papers that take you years and years to come out with that will be reviewed by your peers. We can learn a lot here, but it's never going to be a substitute for evaluating the high quality scientific work. That's where we control for all of the differences that make it so hard to study humans.